Hey guys, SickMotion here, doing the patch 6.2 notes review. I'm just gonna do it really quick here. Totally forgot said I was gonna do this before I went to bed, and I'm ready for bed, so I'm just gonna rifle through it real quick. I'm getting messages on League. Everyone's probably watching the video, trying to check their league, thinking it's their messages. I know I always do that. Anyway, Jin's coming out with this patch. He's actually a pretty fun champion to play. He'll be out next week though. Shen's update as well. Seems undertuned when I played against him. I played against the Shen today, and I played Malphite, built armor. Even though Shen does all magic damage, outdueled him. He had an ignite, so kind of still feels lackluster and just as boring. Probably won't be playing Shen. Mundo's minimum bonus attack damage has been lowered on his E, so you can't just pop it at full health and still do a ridiculous amount of damage. At early levels, it kind of scales back up to where it was, but you're missing out on an extra 20 AD in lane early, which was absolutely ridiculous for early trades. He hits you with the cleaver, he E's you, no, he autos you, resets it with an E, and then he has 40 AD extra. It was pretty dumb. As well as his ultimate cooldown has been raised it for the first two levels and buffed by 5 seconds at max level. And that 5 seconds actually might save you in some situations. Elise's W's base damage is down by 15. A little bit of a thing there. A little bit of a nerf. Fiora, her passive had a bug with it where it could spawn randomly. I had a video of it spawning on the same side 4 times in a row. So I showed someone at Riot the video, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's not supposed to happen." So they talked to someone else, and they're like, "Yeah, that's a bug." They think it was caused by All for One, I guess. But now it's back to working like it's supposed to. It should alternate between top right and bottom left, depending on where you hit the last one. Gangplank's ultimate cooldown was increased by 20 seconds per level, which I think is needed. I mean, the only other thing that they could do to tone it down would be to make it not global. It's really frustrating when you're laning against a Gangplank and all of a sudden you're doing okay against them, and he ults bot lane on a 3v3 gank and gets a kill and 2 assists, and now you're so far behind in experience and money, and you did nothing wrong, and there was no way for you to stop it. Karma's W just down in mana. I don't like playing against Karma, so I don't like her getting buffed. Fixed, or did a thing, not really a fix. You can now buffer mid-jump the W, so the Kha'Zix will cast it slightly before landing. You're still not going to be able to shoot it mid-air, but you're going to be able to cast it like a little bit before landing so they get the slow, and it's kind of nice, something new you can do. Same with his ultimate, but it'll only remember one of them, and it'll be the last one that you pushed, whatever one you want to buffer. Kindred, mana cost increase on her Q, and her E's base damage is down by 20. I mean, it's the scaling health damage, it's the big thing. But 20 less damage. Some weird changes to Nunu here. His Ice Ball now scales with cooldown per level. Its mana cost is down a lot, but its slow duration is also down by 1 second. The strength of the slow is down as well. Oh wait, no, is the strength of the slow down? Sorry, I'm falling asleep here. No, it's up. Dang. 40% slow at level 1 for less mana. Its base damage is down, but it was never really about its base damage. It was about the annoyance of the slow on the ice ball. And its AP ratio is down a little bit too, but most times that you're worried about the AP ratio, you're doing a cheese build anyway. So that's actually annoying. Anunu is an annoying champion to play against, and he might be getting played more now. Poppy, also about the Nunu, the ice ball slows attack speed, which is really painful and a strong thing to have. That's one of the reasons Malphite's really strong, is his attack speed slow right now. Poppy, a couple changes to her passive. If the target dies before the shield reaches, it won't return to you, and it'll now have an indicator of when it's going to expire a little bit before it expires, so you have more chance to kind of determine if you want to go for it, if it's not worth it. And her Q will now only auto-aim if your mouse cursor hasn't moved significantly after casting her E from the change that they made last patch. Rengar's damage scaling on his empowered Q is down from 50 to 30s of total attack damage, and the damage buff is up from 10 to 20% bonus attack damage. So it's more about fighting after rather than just instantly one-hitting the person not wearing have to fight anyway. Bolus Strike now has a cast time in the air and will now properly throw Bolus if you tried to throw mid-air where his cursor was far out of range. I'm wondering how that's going to affect the combo. Probably not that much. You still just roll your face on the keyboard and click on your opponent. And the indicator range is now 200 further, 2 Teemos longer of warning before you get one hit. Fun times. Tahm Kench got a bunch of nerfs here. The stack duration on his passive is down from 7 seconds to 5. 7 seconds was ridiculously long, so that makes sense. The hitbox tongue indicator now lasts longer. Not really sure. That's not really much of a buff or a nerf. Devour. This was really frustrating. If you timed your riposte on Fiora, it also was with Black Shield. If you timed it well enough that you blocked the Tahm Kench Devour, it simply refunded the cooldown and the mana cost, and then he just devoured you again because you still had the stacks on you because you didn't get devoured, but you lost your riposte cooldown. Really frustrating mechanic. It's fixed now. I guess not a mechanic. I think it was a bug. And his R now scales with bonus health 2% less per level. Well, 2% total. It doesn't go down or up. It's just 2% across the board decreased. Which, I mean, he does too much damage for building tanky, so that makes sense as well. This is probably my favorite part of the entire patch, the Frost Queen's nerf. 60 seconds is just way too short. Now it's 90, which is nice. I mean, I want it to be nerfed more. I still think it's too strong, but this is a start. And Ghosts no longer move slightly faster when they can see their target. I didn't even realize that happened. Morellonomicon is a bit cheaper. Athene's slightly cheaper as well. So we're getting some buffs to some casters, some mana casters. I'm guessing they're just like they nerfed Frost Queen's mana regen, and now they're just trying to remind people that these things give you mana regen and cooldown as well, and you don't have to build Frost Queens every game, but you probably still will because that item's dumb. Dark Seal also is down 50 gold, so you can start with an extra potion or refillable if you want, so it's a bit more of an efficient buy. It's kind of an interesting one. The Cull's attack damage went up by 2, and its final payout went up by 50 gold. And the interesting mechanic of the Cull is it's not lifesteal, it's damage on hit, or it's life back on hit. So 3% lifesteal is only effective if you, on the Dorn's Blade, if you do 100 damage, because then it's 3 damage back. The Cull, regardless of how much damage you do, will give you that 3. I still don't know if this is going to be enough for people to buy it. Maybe on certain champions, in certain scenarios, if you're planning on not really fighting that much. But I think the way to make people more interested in it would have been to make the life on hit go up, but that might have made it too strong. You're just getting the extra gold bonus. It's supposed to be for the gold, but that might have just made it so it was more for the life on hit, and then the gold was just a bonus. And there's a bug with the rapid fire cannon that even if you had the longer attack range, you'd run into lower attack range just to fire, which makes it so your attack range isn't that long. This is an interesting change. I was having trouble doing the ward over the wall from top lane to river. I mean, I was trying it when I was really tired and kind of in a hurry, like I was about to get ganked or something, so I might have just done it poorly, but it made it so it wasn't really working for me. I've heard it still works, so I just need to kind of figure it out a little more. Basically, flashing and putting wards and stuff into a wall. You can't put them into a wall. Wards, you can't flash into a wall. So it would... basically, the theory is it would try and put you out as close to your flash or ward cursor as possible, but on the playing field. So you could flash walls or ward over walls that were bigger than the actual range because it would just spit it out to the other side because it was closer. However, it didn't just kind of go out from the center like that. It did a spiraling thing, so sometimes there'd be inconsistencies where it should have went somewhere else, but that wasn't reached that point in the spiral yet, and the spiral went out a little more in a different area. and that's kind of what caused the inconsistencies with some of the weird flash points and whatnot, where you'd fail a flash even though you thought you should be able to do it just based on your cursor in a little bit of a weird spot for that spiral thing. I didn't even realize that was the way it worked, so it's kind of weird that that was a thing, but it's fixed now, I guess. The damage bonus on Assassin is up to 2% from 1.5, as well as increased damage is exclusive against champions. I'm not sure. I'm reading this here. Increased damage exclusive against champions. I don't know if they're meaning that I'm too tired here. I don't know if they're meaning that they added that you can do increased damage to monsters or not. But by all the wording, it's confusing me, and I'm just gonna move on. Thunderlord's Decree got nerfed. The time that you have to apply the 3 stacks is no longer 5 seconds in between stacks. It's 3, so you have to act quicker. As well as the cooldown is higher at lower levels, so it gives you less lane advantage, which is the kind of the reason you were using it. But it gives you more advantage later on in the game. So it's still good for assassins, but people that were just taking it for an early advantage won't get as much early advantage opportunities. So they might actually start using the masteries that they want to be scaling with rather than just trying to scale off of this cheese mastery. Windspeaker's Blessing tooltip correction now tells you that it does boost self-heals and shields, not just the bonus. And it doesn't give you bonus armor or MR to yourself, but it does boost self-healing and shields, so strong on Vlad. They changed the way that the ward debris work. They have different visuals for how long it's been since that ward died. So you can kind of, I mean, you probably won't remember right away. You'll probably have to be referring back to here to figure out the differences. But basically, if it looks like it was bright and fiery, then it was recent. And if it looks dull, then it was a long time ago. This bug here with the sweeping lens that would randomly play the animation in a bush, if that bush had been swept that game, scared the shit out of me a lot of games. I'd be walking to a bush and I'd see an enemy sweeper. I'm like, oh my god, they're here. But it was really just a visual bug and an audio bug because it played this sweeper noise, which was the scary part. The minimap ward icons from the far site is now smaller and lightly tinted than a regular ward icon. I actually kind of talked about this a few times in games where I'd be trying to teleport to wards and I wouldn't know which ward was being able to be teleported to or which wasn't, because you can't teleport to these wards, but on the minimap they looked at the exact same as ones that you could. So if you were just trying to get to a fight really, really quick, it was pretty difficult unless if you were just mousing over the map, unless you knew which ward was where. So you ended up trying to go through like 3 or 4 wards before you finally found one that worked. Trinkets castable during channels. Activating a trinket will no longer break channels except in the case of Jhin or Xerath, which we'll fix as soon as we can. I mean, that's going to kind of be broken. If you can't see what you're shooting at is Jhin or Xerath and you just are able to farsight trinket without interrupting your ult while you're in your ult, I think that's kind of too friendly to those champions. But yeah, some new champ select stuff. Apparently they changed a bunch of things. And 5-man pre-mades are now matched up with 5-man pre-mades 98% of the time. Reduced the Q times reduced the top end of the MMR spectrum. And improved at all skill levels the matchmaking balance. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's kind of like a. I think they're just saying that too early. The queue times have been reduced, which is nice, and the matchmaking balance has apparently been improved. However, I posted it to my Twitter. I had a game today where it was the first game after getting back from the patch or from the patch going live, but it wasn't pre-mades, it was solo players, so you could have split these players up, but they've just put them all on one team. We ended up winning the game, and I mean, right now in the season, being high ranked, like a lot of challenger players just got there by getting lucky in their first couple matches, skipping some divisions and getting there while there was no one there ahead of them or no one really challenging playing, and they'll probably fall out by the end. But the point of the thing is there was three challenger players on the enemy team, one Diamond 1 player, and one player in their Diamond 1 promos from Diamond 2. Our team had two Platinum 1s, an unranked, a Diamond 4, and a Diamond 5. So our highest ranked person was still 2 to 3 divisions lower than their lowest ranked person. And no one was grouped up. It had the option to split these teams up, but it chose to put them all on that one team and put our team all on our team. Matchmaking balance improved at all skill levels. I disagree. Some new skins, as well as a bunch of bug fixes here. I'm not going to really go over a lot of the bug fixes, but this is the one. Fixed a bug where Hecarim's E and his ult combo wasn't working properly. Hecarim can now cast E before R and not lose the E buff. I didn't play Hecarim. I played my first ranked Hecarim game after this patch came out because I knew about this bug and I didn't want to bother playing him until this bug was fixed. I played 2 Hecarim games today. Multiple occasions in those games, my E did not do damage. So it's almost like it wasn't working with his ult. And to increase consistency, they just made his E not work most of the time, is what it was feeling like. And then there was another time where I ulted on Hecarim with my E active and then hit the person with E. It knocked them back. It didn't cancel the E or lose the E buff. It knocked the person back after ulting, but it did 0 damage to them. And then instead of getting the kill, I ended up having to trade because I had to turret dive them just to make sure that I would get the kill because I was going to die anyway at that point when they should have just been dead and I should have walked away with my dangerous game proc. So that was very, very frustrating that it said the only reason I was playing them is because they said they fixed the bug and it is still bugged. Maybe not the exact same bug they said in here, maybe, but there's definitely still a lot more bugs than when I used to play Hecarim a lot. And that's after they nerfed him a lot. The reason I've been not playing Hecarim that much, and the reason his win rate is down as much as it is, isn't because of the nerfs necessarily. It's because there's so many bugs with him. I don't know what they broke, but they broke a lot of stuff. But anyway, there's some other new skins coming out here. I actually managed to keep it shorter than I normally do, so I'm happy with myself. I'm gonna head to bed here, guys, because I'm kind of falling asleep and my words are getting further and further apart. Thank you for watching. If you found it helpful or enjoyed it and have not already, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. All my social media links are in the description under the video as well, and as well as my stream link where I stream full-time at Twitch. If you didn't know or haven't checked that out, be sure to do that. And other than that, thank you for watching. Hopefully it was helpful. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time.